navigating through the city by boat. Birmingham has a labyrinth of canals. It's said to have more waterways than Venice. They date back to the time of industrialisation, crisscrossing the entire region. Skipper Sidney Villemain shows tourists the sights from his narrow boat. The network is 160 kilometres long. It used to be twice that size.
So many people don't know that this canal exists. This canal was built to carry coal. Have you seen the barges laid up there? These were the barges who carried coal at this time. They were pulling by horses. This is the shortest way of transporting coal from, let's say, Birmingham to Wolverhampton. You go straight there, to everywhere in England.
Upmarket homes are springing up along Birmingham's canals, converted from disused factories and warehouses. Brindley Place has become a trendy place to go out, for locals and visitors alike.
Some of the areas still need a bit of work, but generally this is nice. It's sort of getting that, I don't know, the European kind of feel with the outside cafes and so on.
I think it's got great diversity, to be honest. It's got a lot of culture. There's places like here which is quite sort of sophisticated, I suppose, but then you've got a lot of good nightclubs, a lot of towns, a lot of variety, I think, as well, is the main thing.
There's a lot more new things here. There's been a lot of development in the city over the years. It's not perhaps the old rundown city that it once was. I think it's had a lot of development.
In the 16th century, Birmingham's population was just 1,500. It later became known as the workshop of the world, with a reputation for its metal products. The city's later rise to industrial powerhouse in the late 18th century was driven by steam engine inventor James Watt, in collaboration with fellow Scottish inventor William Murdoch and local manufacturer Matthew Boulton. Birmingham, now home to over 1 million people, was dubbed City of 1,000 Trades.
If we looked at Birmingham in the 18th century, Birmingham is most famous for its button manufacture, and that doesn't sound very exciting, but buttons were made here in their millions and, you know, transported around the world. So in the 18th century, buttons, like pearl buttons, were like little jewels, really, pieces of artwork, and they were used for men's clothing predominantly, so they were very high fashion items that were kind of transported around the world.
There's still plenty of evidence highlighting the wealth of those days. But besides beautiful works of architecture, Birmingham is also not short on concrete monstrosities, which came to dominate the cityscape in the 20th century. That too is slowly changing. Birmingham has been brushing up its image with building projects like the new City Library, which have attracted international attention. It stands right opposite another cultural gem, the Symphony Hall, home to the City of Birmingham Symphony Orchestra. It's considered one of the finest music venues in the world. Andris Neelsons from Latvia has been the music director here for the past 6 years. He's walked in the footsteps of famous British conductor Sir Simon Rattle, who transformed the orchestra in the 1980s and 1990s.
The city can be and are proud of the orchestra. I found out with Birmingham when I was a young musician, City of Birmingham Symphony Orchestra and Sir Simon Rattle. That's what I knew about Birmingham when I was 10, 12 years old. It kind of comes together. There are many exciting things, but I think this is the first which represents the city.
Birmingham is also famous for its cuisine. Locals say that Balti curries were invented not in Pakistan, as many believe, but here in the so-called Balti Triangle. Shabab's restaurant, run by Zafar Hussain, still serves up Baltis using the original recipe from the 1970s. A wok-type Balti bowl is used to make it and is what gives the dish its name.
Everyone sort of got on the Balti bandwagon thinking, yeah, you know, so everyone's got on their signs, Balti, Balti, Balti. But, which is why there's a few restaurants working together, including myself. We're trying to go for the EU patent, so it's recognised as a Balti, and so not anyone can just call it a Balti. So you've got to take precautions and do things in a set manner, set way, in order for you to call a dish a Balti.
Curry has long been one of Britain's favourite foods. Now perhaps one day Birmingham Balti will even be considered officially part of Europe's culinary heritage.